Welcome to a very special edition of the OUS Fantasy Podcast, where we are talking about a specific startup that we just finished in record time. It was the fastest slow
It
draft
was. It really
of all
was.
time.
I mean, the first night we started at what was it like? It's like 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. We got through like 8 rounds that night.
It
That never
was
happens.
it was conceived because a big mouth guy in our friendship group
Big mouth bomb. Big mouth bomb.
decided to talk shit to say we win 2 out of 20 leagues or 2 out of 30 leagues or so we put it to the test. And all right, join a dynasty, puss ass,
Yeah.
and then
Stop
pretty
talking
much
shit.
from
Hop in.
9 a.m. that morning to about 4, we filled the league with all pretty much new people that are new to Dynasty at least, and we did a draft, and
Mostly,
we're
yeah.
here to
There's a
talk
few
about
of
it.
us that have been in them before, but yeah, it's mostly new guys. So if anybody's watching this and you haven't been in a dynasty league or you're doing your first startup draft, this is a good tool to go off of.
Yes, because some of these picks were very suspect. I'm gonna throw the board up real quick, but first, before I do that, make sure you're following us on Twitter, Josh Kimball OUS at Viking Dave
18.
18. We always have some insight or some nonsense going on over there, and if you like this on YouTube, please subscribe. We are trying to grow a brand here. So here is the draft board. If you can see that, it is a super flex tight end premium. You get 0.25 extra per catch for tight ends, full PPR,
I saw you
and you
give extra
start.
points for the points per carry, which I wasn't aware of until I looked at it right before the draft started, which is fine.
I
But
copied.
that's
I'm
not
not gonna
normal.
lie.
That's not normal. You copy one of
How
my
much
leagues, I know.
I copied one of your leagues, whatever league it was. Because you know what, I hate commissioning leagues. I hate it. I hate it to the core. You're like,
Yeah.
start it up, start it up. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go because Sleeper has this. The one rare positive about Sleeper is you can just go copy league settings,
Even
boom,
from
done.
MFL?
No, from Sleeper. And so a lot of leagues went from MFL to Sleeper in leagues you're not in, like Bing's
Oh,
league.
they transferred over?
Yeah, so
Oh,
they
I didn't
kept
know you could
everything.
do that. I mean,
So
that's
it was
cool.
awesome. I just went copy that league, good to go.
Yeah.
So honestly, I didn't know about the point per carry. How many points per carry? Two
I think
point
it's
two five.
point 0.2 or 0.25 or something, yeah.
I didn't know that until just
So,
now. So terrible,
so running backs have a little bit more value than normal. So,
terrible commissioning by me. But it started out huge by a random draft order. Which first off, want to say, um, the biggest mistake we've already made during this draft, all of us, is not having it as an auction. And I will say, if you're going to do a
yeah, but we
startup,
had too many newbies. You couldn't do that.
I know, but the thing is
But I agree.
it's so lame. Just going, all right, we're just going to randomize the order and that's it.
I know.
So that's just to me, that's one of the lamest things you could possibly do in any startup because you're not getting the guys you want. Whereas in an auction, everyone has the same amount of money. Everyone has the same opportunity to get whoever you want, and that's the true way to build your team. Because it's not fair that you got the first pick and we all knew, well, he's about to rob somebody because we have a huge Bills fan in our league. So
I don't know what you're talking about. I
yeah,
think I did the
anyone
even trade.
anyone with the 101, you automatically got whatever his pick was in the first. So you're only moving down 4 spots. You're already guaranteed to get a 2023 first, which I knew
You
you
know
were
what?
going to do.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny? The first thing I thought of as soon as I got the one pick is I looked to see where he was picking because I didn't want to fall too far. I would have probably still done a trade. I'm sure we could have figured something out, but I really wanted one of the top like 4 or 5 picks, and I saw he had 5, and I'm like, all right, this will be easy. We'll get a deal done.
So that trade was done, and anyone, like I said, anyone with half a brain could have got what you got from Adam, which I love Adam, and he got his guy. That's the thing. Get your guy. This is
Yeah.
a dynasty. You're gonna hopefully have this team for a long time. Get the guys you want.
But the
So
truth is, look at it. Like I got, and we explained this in the chat. We have a guy that went nuts and was like, okay, shut up. Listen, from the 4th round, it was 4 picks. The 6th round, it was 4 picks. Like that's nothing. That's literally nothing. The only major drop that he made was going from the 2nd round to the 7th. And yes, that's a big drop. But otherwise, everything else was not that bad. He got his guy, like you said. He got Josh Allen. I happily took Chase, very happily. I wanted Justin Jefferson, but I was taking Chase or Jefferson either way, so I'm good. And you know, the drop overall wasn't that bad. As people made it out to be. Like I just robbed this guy blind and took half his freaking team. Like calm down, people. It's not that serious. So
The 2023 first is what made me
yeah,
very angry. I was like, this is because you're just gonna get it. Like this is like everyone knew. So you automatically start off next year with 2 firsts, and next year is gonna be a huge draft. So that puts you at a huge advantage, and it sucks. But
that's where I'm gonna get my running backs from.
it is what it is. So yeah, exactly. Well, let's start breaking down this draft. Make it pretty short and quick, and we'll go ahead and give everyone a grade at the end of the draft. But we're gonna go round by round. What stood out? Where do you think went wrong? Whatever the case may be. So the
My
first
kids are
round,
home and they're gonna eat, so I'm gonna go upstairs real quick. So start talking. Go ahead. Go ahead.
that's fine.
You
The
start.
first round went, and we won't do this for every round, but we just want to make sure the first round is announced who was picked: Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Jonathan Taylor, Justin Jefferson, Chase, Mahomes, Burrow, Christian McCaffrey, Lamar, Kyler, Najee, and Pitts. Pretty chalky to me.
Mostly.
There's one glaring, not mistake, because it's hard to say he's a mistake, because obviously he's my favorite running back in the whole world. But Christian McCaffrey at the 108 in a super flex,
Yeah, I'm
I
not
wasn't
touching him.
I wasn't a fan of that pick at all. I would have rather, if I'm going running back there and Jonathan Taylor is already taken, I'm going Najee, or
Najee.
even Javante,
Yeah.
honestly, in a startup. But that's not to say like, oh well, Josh, you have him number one, yada yada yada. And would you trade CMC straight up for Najee? Depends on the make. Depends on your team.
But
And
it's
most
also a
teams,
redraft team. Like you're talking about redraft versus dynasty. You're talking about a
yeah,
guy that's had injuries, who we all understand can win your league, but he's at the age where running backs don't last very long. They're on their second contract. We don't want to build a team around those guys. But we'll see as that he decided to build a team around all of them
yeah,
as
yeah, and
we
we'll
go
get through
forward.
as we go forward. Yes, I was really shocked that Mahomes fell to 6. Overall, I thought Mahomes should have went 3 in a startup dynasty super flex. I'm not a fan. Last year, I lie. Last year, I went CMC at 101 and 102, or someone remember I did.
Yeah, and I
Because I
told you
got
that was
one.
a bad idea.
I know, and it was, and now I realize it was a bad idea. I learned from my mistakes. I remember I had 101 and 102. I think.
Oh yeah, and you took no, that was the
No, that was
auction. You
the
got both of them in
auction.
auction. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes, and I got Mahomes and I got
You
CMC, and I'm
spend
like,
like
fuck
half your
yeah.
budget on those guys.
Yeah, and now not looking so good, but it is what it is. That's why I don't like taking these running backs early, like Jonathan Taylor. I don't
They
like that.
fall off too fast. Taylor is the only one I would have, and I said this in our chat. Taylor and probably Najee are the only running backs that I would have taken in the first round of this draft because of their age. We don't want the older guys, that are going to probably be gone in 2 years. At least Taylor's got probably 3 to 5, you would think. Same with a guy like Najee Harris and some of those guys. But I'm not touching running back in the first round unless it is those two super young guys that I think have 3 to 5 years in them.
So right off the bat, in my opinion, Chris and Sean took a. They're trying to. They better have a better, perfect draft the rest of the way down, because I think it's going to be hard to recover without taking one of these quarterbacks or one of these elite receivers that last a long time. One more thing on the first round I want to get to is Joe Burrow ahead of Lamar, Kyler, Trey Lance, Deshaun
People
Watson,
people
Dak,
love Burrow,
Hurts.
man.
Like I don't get it. I don't get it.
I like Burrow, but I think I'm not taking him over Lamar. I'm not taking him over Kyler, mostly because of the rushing upside. And I love Burrow, but yeah, I mean, I would have taken him over Hurts. I would have taken him over, Lance and Watson, but I probably would have not taken him over Kyler and Lamar.
Wait,
But
you would take him over Watson?
yeah, well, right now with the suspension thing looming, and I know it's a long term thing, but I probably would take Burrow over him. Maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's close. That one's close.
I just feel like with the pace of play with that offense, I mean, that's not going away. He doesn't have any rushing upside whatsoever, and I don't want to say he had a career year because he didn't. He had a career stretch, and I
Oh, he
don't
went
think,
nuts at the end of the year, and I think that's what people remember, and that's what they're hoping he's going to continue to do. So, and it's a fair argument.
yeah, just the career stretch over the, like, I long term Lamar is going to give me better opportunities to win me weeks. As in, this Lamar will finish top 5 when healthy, when all cylinders go, more times than Joe Burrow will finish top 5.
Probably.
So the ceiling's a little bit higher there. We'll move on to the second round. Do you want me to name all the players again, or just
Go
glaring
ahead if you
mistakes?
want,
All
real
right.
quick.
Lamb, Javante, Trey Lance, Deshaun Watson, Eckler, Brees Hall, Swift, Dak, Cup, Hurts, Diggs, and Debo Samuel at the end. Uh, This
I
round
don't
was difficult for me.
I don't think anything sticks out as terrible in this round,
No.
to be honest. I don't like not that I'm saying CMC was terrible, but I would have not done it. I don't think anything jumps out at me like, oh my God. Probably, if I'm being honest, probably Eckler, I guess, only because
Mhm.
again, he's a little bit older. I mean, it's the running back position that's not, a guy like Hall and Swift. These are first and second year guys that would assume. So Javonte Williams, all the other three running backs are first or second year guys. Think about it. All the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 running backs taken in the first two rounds. All of them except for Christian McCaffrey and Eckler were first or second year running backs. And I think that that's the smart route.
Swift's in his third year, going into his third
Is it
year.
third?
So
You're right. My
yes,
bad. He is the third year
but he's still in
guy.
his first contract.
Yeah, he's
So
still a little bit younger. So, yes, that's my fault. But
it,
you're right.
at this
So,
point, to me, the Eckler pick really stands out again to me as you took CMC. Okay, that's fine. So you better get your solid quarterback one, or you better get a solid wide receiver one. That's good. Like I would rather have a Cooper Cup. I'd rather have Debo. I'd rather have you couldn't get CD, but
Dak, I was thinking Dak there.
yeah, Dak as well. Because you need that anchor. You need that quarterback one, especially in a super flex where quarterbacks are going to go pretty quick as Chris saw. Um,
I was
mm,
very thrilled to get Dak in the second round. Like, I was over the moon because when you pass on a guy in the first round, like I took Chase, you don't expect to get one of the top QBs. Like they're usually already all gone by the time you come back around the second round, and you can say Dak's not Lamar or Mahomes, and that's fine. But he's right there with him. He's not old. He's gonna put up stats. I was thrilled to get him in the second round. Just I was very happy with that.
oh,
So
you know me. I have Dak high in my
yeah,
rankings, and
I
especially
honestly
the
thought I
dynasty.
would thought you would take him over Watson. Honestly, I thought you would.
It was up. It was Watson or Dak. Those were the two
I
options
thought
for
you were
me.
taking Dak, and I was thinking I was going to have to take Watson with my pick if he made it
The,
to me.
Yeah, so I took Watson. So my first two picks are Lamar and Watson. I never go quarterback. I never do it. I usually would have taken a receiver here at this point. But honestly, the receivers that were there, I thought I can get later, like a T Higgins or a Waddle or somebody like that. That's who I was targeting.
Yeah,
I really didn't want Cup, and the guys that I wanted were already gone. Like Lamb. If Lamb fell to me, I would have taken Lamb. Lamb
yeah,
100,000%.
of
But
course.
the turn took him with Pitts and Lamb to start off. That's a great, great
Yeah, I like that.
combination right
I
there.
like that. I like that duo.
Yeah. So the Eckler one stands out to me. Like I said, older. He's going to lose carries this year. They don't want to give him that many carries ever again. That was his career high. It's never going to
Yeah,
happen again with Eckler. But he's still a solid player.
he's a great player. I mean, think
Yeah.
about it. If you're talking on redraft, these are two of the top 6, 7, 8 players, Eckler and CMC. You know,
Yes, and we're going to get into the third round now, where it was AJ Brown, Mark Andrews, Devontae Adams, Derrick Henry, Trevor Lawrence, Jalen Waddle, Joe Mixon, Dalvin Cook, T. Higgins, Tyreek Hill, Russell Wilson, and Saquon Barkley to round it out. Dave, where do you go here? Who made the biggest who made we talked negative. Who made the best pick for their team?
best pick. I'm trying to see if I know you. Man, I one thing I know is that you love T Higgins. I've noticed that very much in any of the drafts that we've done lately. You
Since his
love
rookie year.
him,
Since his rookie year. I
but
grabbed him
like
in all the dynasty rookie startups as well.
we were in the draft yesterday at a best ball and you took Higgins in the second round. I was like, whoa, really? Okay. All right. Um, I'm looking for something that stands out as just a great value. Probably Waddle, I think, is a pretty good value. Middle of the third. He's a good player. Higgins is solid because he's young. I think Russell Wilson's a really good pick at the end of the third round. A really
Mhm,
good pick.
mhm.
Um, so I'd say probably those three.
Yeah, so it was to me. It's so funny we think the same. Waddle and Russell Wilson are my two standouts as the best picks of this round. Where we saw Renee get Mahomes to start off, then Swift, a third year running back who's electric and catches a lot of balls, and then a young stud alpha receiver in Jalen Waddle. That just he Renee started his. I didn't expect this from Renee at all. He
I
started
loved his
out
first three picks. Yeah.
on fire, and I loved it because it's variety. You have top dogs at each position. The only thing he's missing is tight end, which he fills later. As far as the Russell Wilson pick, JanSport went Najee and Javante, something I don't recommend doing because, like you said, they fall off so fast. But Russell
But he
Wilson,
got the young ones at least, the young ones.
he got the young ones, but Russell Wilson just made it that much better because I feel like Russell Wilson is a second round pick in a super flex startup.
Yeah, I think
And
so. I think he should be. Yes.
he got taken. Trevor Lawrence got taken over Russell Wilson, which is insane. And you know what? I'm not a
Yeah.
Russell Wilson guy. You know I'm not,
You know what's
but I'm
funny? I
still
agree.
taking
I
him.
agree. And I mean, I think that's an upside pick clearly. But I thought about Russell Wilson with I had the 2-3 turn. I took Debo and AJ Brown, but I already had Dak, so I was like, I can wait a little bit. But I really thought about Russ at the top of the third round, and he fell all the way into the third round. So I was surprised by that.
Yes, I was too. I don't want to talk negative this round because I can't really think of anything negative. Like that's another thing is
Yeah, I don't see it like a glaring bad pick at this
I see
point at all.
one, and I don't want to trash Chris again. But
Well, okay, this is what I'm going to say about this. Well, I guess we should wait until a little bit farther, but I guess he can look at his team and say, he said, fuck it, I'm all in. That's what he said. He said McCaffrey, Eckler, Cook. I mean, if you're talking about a redraft league, these are three of the top 8 players. 3 of the top 8 players in a redraft league. So go for it. Okay. At this point, I'm saying go all in, win now. Every single pick for the rest of the way should have been, in my opinion, win now, guys. And then he goes with AJ Dillon, which is
we'll
fine.
get
But I
there.
mean,
Let's go.
the
You
thing
want to go
is,
to the
you've
fourth
got,
round?
you want to go fourth round, or you just
Yeah,
want
we'll
to talk
go.
about his team? Okay, go ahead. Go to the
Yeah, let's
fourth
go to the
round.
fourth round because this will lead into it. So it went ETN, DK Metcalf, Nick Chubb, Michael Pittman, AJ Dillon, Kamara, Akers, Deontay Johnson, Aaron Jones, Leonard Fournette, Derek Carr, and J.K. Dobbins. So let's go with the A.J. Dillon pick. Right after Dalvin Cook, Chris opts to take A.J. Dillon.
At that point, you should just take Kamara if you're gonna go. If you're
Yes.
gonna go with the route you did, you know what I mean? Like, or Aaron Jones, even I guess, or But um, this is my thing about Chris's team. He's got studs. He's got the studs, and I'm gonna skip down because I'm gonna just talk about his team right now.
Okay.
When you make that commitment, you just have to go all in. You should. I would say probably just take Kamara. His only QB, if you keep looking down, is starting QB is just Tua. That's just not smart. He got Waller, an older veteran tight end who's a top 5-ish guy. I think that's great. But then where he messed up is QB and receiver. I mean, he's got only Tua. His receivers are Drake London, who's a rookie. I mean, rookies nowadays are balling out, but is he going to be one of those guys? I don't know. He's got Jameson Williams, who's not playing until November. Amari Cooper, he's not going to have a good QB until who freaking knows. So my only issue with him is instead of a London, maybe take Mike Evans. Did he go before him or after? I'm not sure. He was right next to each
Right
other. I can't.
after. Right after. So he could have
Oh,
taken him.
was it after?
Yeah, he could have
No.
taken him after.
Yeah, so I'm
Yeah,
saying
he
he
took
could have
London, then
taken him.
Evans went.
That's what I'm saying. So in Jameson Williams, same thing. He could have taken I don't know. I'm sure there's a veteran guy that he could have taken. All I'm saying is commit at that point because in 2 years when these running backs are dead, you're probably going to fall off, especially because he doesn't have QBs. He needs to make some moves. He probably should. I don't know. Like, can he? Do you think he can compete with this team? I don't think he can with only two as QB, and his receivers are weak. I don't think you can even with the studs he's got at running back. I don't know if you can do that.
He can't compete this year because if you don't have two quarterbacks in a super flex on a consistent basis, week to week, you're not
You're
going to
gonna be
win.
in trouble.
You're going to be in big trouble. So he better hope that Willis steps in, which is not going to happen, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean he's got
And
Brissett, but I mean, really, are you counting on Brissett?
no, you're not counting on Brissett. So he's already in rebuild mode. He needs to make a move like
Yeah.
today. He
I
needs
mean,
to
he's got
trade.
Ramondre Stevenson. I like him, but that's
But
your, fourth or fifth guy. He's
that's what I'm
got
saying.
Dylan.
He can afford to trade
Yeah.
an Eckler or Dalvin Cook for a stud, whether it be a quarterback or whether it be a
Yeah.
wide
He
receiver.
needs to
He
make that
needs to
move
get
for
rid of
sure.
one because you have Stevenson who can contribute and AJ Dillon who can contribute, whereas he doesn't need one, two. He doesn't need all five running backs. He doesn't. So
Yeah.
he needs to make a move ASANP.
All
Another
right.
pick in this
Next to the
round.
fourth round. Go ahead. What do you like? What do you like and what do you don't like?
I'm gonna go with what I don't like, and I'm gonna start off with Leonard Fournette, another aging running back on Sean's team, who took Jonathan Taylor, Jalen Hurts, and Devontae Adams. Then you take Fournette. So his team is like, what are you? You're young at running back, you're young at quarterback, then you went old at skill
Old.
position players. So
Yeah.
what is your identity at this point? Then you went around and you took Brady next. Are we trying to win now or are we trying to build for the future? Taylor Hurts, they all give you win now, that win now. So it's kind of like Chris's team, except for it's more balanced. He went win now. I'm going to win this league, and then I'm going to pay it off, obviously, and play for free for the next couple of years.
Yeah.
I just feel like the Fournette pick was you could have gotten more out of it with another if you wanted running back there.
Yeah, but one, we know he's a Bucks fan. If you keep
Yes,
going, you see his entire team is littered with trash Bucks players. Um, and I mean, he listen. The top of his team is good. Jonathan Taylor, we love him. Hurts is really good. Adams is a stud. Fournette is solid. He's gonna be fine. He's your number two running back. I'm not taking Fournette in a dynasty, not in the top 4 rounds.
I know.
That I would easily rather had try J.K. Dobbins. I think Elijah Mitchell. That's just a couple I would name that I would have taken just because of the youth and the upside that those guys have. Then he went Brady. I like the Mike Williams pick at that point. It's fine. Schultz is a good tight end. And then he's got old ass Hopkins. Keep going down. Thielen. Like he has to win now. And he has to win this year or next year. Or again, he's going to be a lot like Chris, where which I think he's in a better spot than Chris because we talked about his balance. He has some balance there. He needs to win this year or next year. Otherwise, Brady's probably gone. Fournette's going to be, Adams is at the point to where he could fall off really soon. Hopkins, he's not going to be around much longer. Thielen, same thing. So he needs to win within the next 2 years, or he's going to be, rebuild mode really quickly.
And he needs to, and a lot of people in dynasties need to understand in a snake draft, you need to read the draft, see where it's going, and know your opponents. As the person that picked after Sean, he's an unknown. We don't know who he is, except for he's a Bills fan. That's all we knew about him.
Mm-hmm.
He's Adam's cousin, and we know you're there. So he should have known you're not taking Fournette, and Adam had to pick there. So Adam probably wasn't taking Fournette as well. He could have got Fournette on the way back. And in that pick, instead of Fournette, he could have easily went Kenneth Walker, who's a young stud.
But think about it. That's not who he wanted. I guarantee you he wanted Fournette and Brady. That was the duo he wanted. And
he
could have
got Brady later. He could have. He could have. But he didn't know that. So you need to go into your drafts knowing
Brady. Hold on. I will say I had to pick right at the top of the fifth, and I took Cousins. And I looked at my team. I looked at who was there, and I said, you know what? Because I don't know if I'll say it's the wrong decision I made, but I was picking between Cousins and maybe like a Stafford, but I think I was going to go with Cousins. And my other option was Kittle or Kelsey. And I was like, I think it is going to be a QB run. And sure enough, there was right after Brady, Stafford, Rodgers, Tua. And then I was the next one to take a QB after that. But he may have gotten Brady. He probably wouldn't have. Someone else. There's a couple other Bucks fans in the league. Someone would have taken Brady. So
yeah, like Renee or maybe
or Allen or somebody.
Yeah, that's true. Because Allen did take Stafford right after, but
so you never know.
So the fifth round breaks down Cousins, Kenneth Walker, Tom Brady, Matthew Stafford, DJ Moore, Jerry Jeudy, Aaron Rodgers, Tua, Kittle, Kelsey, Hawkinson, and Zeke. This goes back to the Brady pick or the Fournette pick. How good would Sean's team look with DJ Moore instead of Fournette, or DJ Moore instead of Brady, and maybe getting Fields on the way back, or maybe getting another quarterback on the way back? It would just look so much better if he had a second dominant receiver that's young.
Yeah, because you DJ Moore, who's younger, and Fournette, who's going to give you, another year or two, maybe. Yeah, I would have easily taken Moore. He could have had. Where did I take? Oh no, I took the other guy first. Yeah, I think that's just one thing to look at. When I look at the rest of the round, I'm trying to. I don't know if I love Jeudy there. I don't hate him, but I don't love him. I guess I'm kind of like indifferent on him right now.
Especially with the guys that went after him: McLaurin, Godwin, Hollywood Brown, Drake London, Evans,
Marquise Brown,
Mike Williams, Elijah Moore. Like there was just so many people I have above Jeudy, but that's just my opinion.
You're right.
Have him.
Jeudy could ball out.
Guys.
Who knows? We'll see.
He could.
We'll see.
He could.
So then you started the tight end run.
Yeah, I started the tight end run with Kittle because at this point I had Lamar Watson, Higgins, Pittman, and in my mind I'm thinking, okay, I need a running back. There's guys I like out there. Zeke, but he's older. I'm not taking Zeke. Montgomery, I'm not taking Montgomery. He's on his last year of his contract. Josh Jacobs, same situation. So I'm like, God, I just don't like these running backs in Dynasty. So I went with tight end. And the last year, Josh would have taken Hawkinson. But this year I've grown and I've learned that Hawkinson is not going to be that elite target getter like a Kittle or Kelsey. So those were the last two remaining tight ends that I like best in Dynasty. And I opted with age and I opted with Kittle because he has a lot more years than Kelsey left. And I think he's going to give me a great position, win every single week, unless I face off against the Pitts or Andrews guy.
I agree. I mean, like I said, I almost took him over Cousins, but I really like Cousins a lot this year, and I knew the QB run was coming, so I wanted to grab another guy before it was too late. So because I knew I had to wait a while. So
Yes. So, and another thing that stuck out with me, I feel like this is the Chris Girardi show, but I don't think Tua is going to be a quarterback one for anyone. Where
no,
else could he have gone? I don't know.
Fields was probably the next best one.
Fields
That's
was
who I
my.
got.
That's who I would have taken. I would have taken Fields over Tua, and on the way back, I would have got Tua if that's who you really wanted to solidify those two quarterbacks. Because if you're going to go zero quarterback in a super flex, you need to start grabbing those average guys, and hopefully one of them pans out.
Well, that's another thing that he didn't do is once he took Tua, like you said, he didn't grab. At some point, and there was a point I remember that instead of taking a guy like a Ramondre Stevenson, you should take a QB there. Like I'm trying to see which way this is going. So he could have gotten a Matt Ryan or a Tannehill or someone like that, where like at least they're started for you're gonna give you started for a year or two. You know what I mean? Like, and you got Tannehill, then you got Willis later, so you got the Tennessee. Like you could have done that. He had Waller. I like Freiermuth a lot, so I don't really want to bash that pick at all. But yeah, if your only QB is Tua, you have to load up at some point with two or three, like the 10 guy. I mean the 12 guy, Chris. Like he waited and waited and waited. He got Jameis, who maybe we don't love, but at least he's a starter. And then he got QB, Goff, Daniel Jones, Mariota. You know what I mean? Like that's the smart way to go. Like you may not love those guys, and I don't either, but they're more valuable than like a fucking Alan Lazard that got drafted right around there. Like, are you kidding me? Like, come on. So that was the smart move for Chris. He waited on QB longer than most, and at least he loaded up on a few guys that can, give him some shots. So
That's true. So let's go to the what round are we in now, man? Sixth
sixth,
round.
starting the sixth.
And
Yeah.
I'm gonna focus on Team 12, Chris Fernie. After I list these players: McLaurin, Godwin, Montgomery, Hollywood. I wonder who took him. London, Mike Evans, Jacobs, Fields, Boston Fields, Antonio Gibson, Mike Williams, James Cook, and Elijah Mitchell. I want to focus on Chris's team, Chris Fernie's team, real quick because we haven't really touched on it. It is a weird build as well, where he's super young at tight end. Kyle Pitts, probably the best dynasty tight end out there. Super young at receiver, CD Lamb. Then he went. I mean, Barkley's not old, but he's broken down. Elliott's definitely broken down, and Etienne's an unknown. And then he went
Yeah.
McLaurin. I loved his start with his first two picks, and I think he kind of stumbled in the on being on this turn because maybe a lot of these guys were getting taken. I don't know, and maybe he panicked and think, oh, if I don't
Yeah.
get a running back here, how are you liking his team up
I don't.
until
I
the
love
sixth
the
round?
top two. Obviously, I don't hate the Saquon pick. I know, me more than others. I like him a little bit more, even though I don't trust him completely. I don't hate him at that point. It's fine. And ETN, he's got a young guy with some upside. The pick, I really start to question is Zeke. That's just, I don't. Zeke's not a player I'm ever owning in Dynasty anymore. He's on the downhill. He's not going to be elite ever again. Um, I don't know who else he could have taken at that point. Maybe a QB. Honestly, I probably would have taken a guy like Justin Fields. In my opinion, that's who I would have taken
Fields is
there.
gone.
No, he would not at that
Oh, he
point. He
wasn't
wasn't.
gone. Yeah, he wasn't
Yeah.
gone. You're right.
So
Right.
like I would take that easily. McLaurin I think is fine. Like I'm not mad about the McLaurin pick. He loaded up on some QBs like I talked about. He's got another. The thing is, he got another old running back, but he got Connor pretty late.
Mhm.
So he's kind of almost in that like I need to do it now. Also, like he's got the Connor and the Zeke and the Saquons who probably aren't going to give him too much, but he's also got some youth, so he's a little bit of in the middle. If his QBs are good enough, which they Jameis, Goff, Daniel Jones, and Mariota, if he can get two serviceable guys out of that, he'll be okay. I don't hate it. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. I'll say that.
Okay, so my opinion on Chris's team up to this point, if he would have taken in round 5, let's say Hollywood Brown, because I love him a lot, or let's say Fields instead of Zeke. Those are the two guys I'm like, his team would be made. Think
I agree.
about
I think he
that
would have been better off. I agree with that.
with
I
with
agree with
instead
that.
of so you have Pitts, Lamb, Barkley, Etienne, Fields, and McLaurin. Like holy crap!
Yeah,
Or Hollywood McLaurin, which I am high on him. So that's the only mistake I see on Chris's team so far up to this point. But let's
yeah, I
focus
agree.
more on the sixth round. So this is where I'm like, okay, running backs are dying off.
Yeah, they
I
are.
would
They
have
were.
I wouldn't have taken Montgomery right there at 6'4", but I took Hollywood Brown. But I was thinking about it. But I'm glad he got taken, so I didn't have to think about it. Because remember, me and you were texting, God, I want Hollywood, but when's he gonna
Yeah,
go?
I
And
knew you were gonna take him. I told
I
you you
was
had to
gonna
take him.
gamble. I was gonna gamble in this round and not take him. Honestly, I'll tell
Dang.
you who I was taking. I'll tell you exactly who I was taking in this round.
Who?
I was taking Justin Fields. That
I
was my
knew.
pick.
I knew that's what you were thinking. I was like,
And I feel like you talked me off of him. I feel like you fucking
you know,
sabotaged me.
you know what's crazy? That's so funny. I hate Justin Fields, and that's very. I'll say it 100 times over. But in the sixth round, think about Trevor Lawrence, who went 3 rounds earlier. Lance, who went in the second round, and yet maybe they've got more upside. But do they? Like, I hate Justin Fields, but if I'm wrong and he's good, the rushing ability. Look, Jalen Hurts isn't a great NFL quarterback, but he's a great fantasy football quarterback. And Justin Fields could do that. I can see, I can put my blinders on or take them off because of how much I don't like him, and realize that Fields' upside as a quarterback for fantasy is like super crazy high. Like, I get that, and so I kind of, he was the only QB got left that I wanted, that I was like, I can take. And once you passed on him, I was wondering if he's going to fall to me. So the guys in our chat are trashing me because I have no running backs, and that's fine. I don't care. They're like, well, "What? You should have taken, a running back instead." Okay, let's look and see who was left. Antonio Gibson. He might not. He's really. I'm gonna
Dude, his stock is
Antonio.
plummeting.
It's trash right now. Like, he's not looking good. He's fumbling. I like him. I don't think he's terrible, but I'm not drafting him in the sixth round of a startup dynasty league when he could be out of the league in a year or two. Elijah Mitchell, who I really like, he was the if someone took Fields, Mitchell might have been the guy that I went with because I do like his upside. I'm not thinking James Cook yet. And then after that, look at after that. Those three running backs: receiver, tight end, receiver, QB, receiver, tight end, receiver, QB. There wasn't another running back taken until, like, what is that? The wasn't James Conner
8-10.
pick?
Oh
Yeah,
no, James Conner
no,
was
8-1.
8-1. Yep.
So, like, 2.5 rounds. That's because they're not good. You expect, I'm not going to read. This is what people don't understand. It's about value. You can trash me all you want. I don't care. It's about value. I'm not going to take an average running back who's going to give me a year or two of production over a QB who maybe he busts. He could be a complete bust, and it's fine, because what do I miss out on? A year or two of Antonio Gibson? Okay. Get Elijah Mitchell, who I think could be really, really good, and I do like him, but I'll take the upside of a QB in the sixth round in a super flex. And if he hits, then his value will be through the roof. And if he doesn't, then, worst case is he's probably, my QB3. Like I said, he's my QB3, so there's no downside for me to take him. Uh, there's really no receivers I loved at that point that I can see. Elijah Moore, maybe, taking him. There's a couple, Bateman, I did like him. So it was easy for me once Fields got to me that I had to take him at that point.
And let's just say this too: you didn't have a pick until that was your 6-8. Since that trade happened, you didn't have a
Yeah,
pick until what, 8-12?
the end of the 12th. Yeah, so I had to
Eight
wait a
twelve.
while.
So you had to wait a long time. So you didn't want to you wanted to make sure you got that third run quarterback, which you understand the value, or the second. That'll be your
Yeah, he
second
was my
quarterback.
third. He was my
Third, yeah,
third.
yeah. Because
Yeah,
I
yeah.
hate the way Slipper does this. By the way,
I
I
know.
hate
Why
that.
can't they just, like, put him? I know, put him in order.
But
But
but the
whatever.
fact, but that's where they were drafted, so I understand what. So you had to wait a full almost 2 rounds for your next pick after Fields. You wanted to make sure you got your third quarterback, which we understand. It's very important in Superflex. Some people
Yeah,
just didn't get that because, like you broke down in the Haskins episode like 3 years ago, even though if Dwayne Haskins sucked, his floor was still like 8-10 points, and that's
which is
more as a
more than half these
that's
flex
more
players
than
that these people are going to be starting.
exactly
Yeah, and
exactly.
that's worst case scenario. Like, best case scenario, he's a top 12 to 15 guy, maybe even higher. Look at Hurts, which I think is a decent comparison. Hurts was a top QB last year for fantasy. He was crushing it, and I don't like Fields, but he could do that. Like, I'm not dumb. Like, even the Eagles weren't great last year, so I'm not saying the Bears are going to be good, but Fields is rushing upside mixed, with the, and I don't even expect it this year, but long term, I think he could be out of the league in 2 years, but we'll see about that. I don't know.
So the seventh round went Elijah Moore, Chris Olave, Dalton Schultz, Brandon Cooks, Gabe Davis, Zach Wilson, Cortland Sutton, Darren Waller, Rashad Bateman, Keenan Allen, Juju, and Jameis Winston. I see a lot of drafting for need in this round. I see a lot of I need this player, so let me grab him. I saw that with Dalton Schultz. He's like, oh, I need a tight end, so he grabbed the tight end. I see that with um, who else did it? Oh, Chris did it. Chris Fernie with Jameis Winston. He's like, all right, kind of need a quarterback, which I don't hate this quarterback's decision at all. Jameis Winston is
Yeah.
a solid pick there. And Darren Waller, I say, oh, he probably was like, oh, I need a tight end here, so let me grab a tight end. I don't like drafting like that. I didn't draft like that. At this point, I needed a running back. I have 0 running backs.
And you took a receiver with
and I
some
took
upside.
receiver with yes, exactly, because I feel like you just said with Justin Fields, Bateman's going to be the one guy there. Yes, he's behind Andrews, but he's still the one receiver there. So who am I going to grab? James Conner, Tony Pollard, like you said, Miles Sanders. These guys are going to
No, exactly.
give
You're
me
not taking those
nothing. They'll give
guys.
me nothing. So I'm going to grab a guy who gives me 8 to 10 years solid, hopefully 8 to 10 years
Yeah.
of solid performances over those guys. Drafting for need is what happens usually around this time, 7th, 8th, 9th
Yeah,
round,
that's when it.
which
So,
I hate
so like
that.
we've said before, like, and I still think it's 100% true. You draft for value and you trade for need. And people are already saying, don't trade David running back, don't trade Joshua. Okay, then you can keep your guys. Like, okay, I'll be fine. I'll figure it out. I always do. But if I have the better needed players, you're gonna have a need also. No team is perfect. Like, you know what I mean? Not one team here is perfect. Everyone has needs. We're all gonna make trades. Like that's what Dynasty. That's the best part of Dynasty. So, draft for value, trade for need, and then you'll be all right.
There you go. Do you see anything that stands out in this round? Just because
I really
honestly,
liked Elijah Moore there.
yeah, yeah,
I don't hate Schultz. I would have taken Goddard. I will say I
yep.
was a little annoyed I didn't get Goddard there.
I would have taken
No,
Waller, Goddard,
yeah, I
probably
liked your
for.
pick of Bateman. I knew you were gonna take Bateman because I thought about him. It was a good pick.
Did
Um,
any of my picks surprise you up to this point?
uh,
Up to this point,
I was not surprised, but a little. I wasn't sure if you would take Kittle. I think it was a good pick. Um, the rest, I'm starting to learn how much you really like Higgins and Pittman. So now, no. Um, the rest, no, not surprised. No, nothing like stood out to me. To where I was like, whoa, that was a crazy pick. I didn't think he would do that. No,
yeah, I'm looking at your team. Nothing surprised. We've drafted with each other for way too long. Like I just know
too
your
long.
players, and I just know who
Yeah.
you're gonna take. Justin Fields didn't surprise me because of the value. Although I know you hate him. That's the point of Dynasty. Even though you hate a player, you still gotta
Sometimes
take
it's
him.
about value. Everyone has
Yeah.
value at some point. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Let's move on to the 8th round. James Conner, Pollard, Pickens first over Garrett Wilson, Jameson. It started off this little run of Pickens, Garrett
Rookies.
Wilson, Jameson Williams, Devontae Smith, Goddard, Sky Moore, Michael Thomas. Kind of pissed me off. Miles Sanders, Allen Robinson, Traylon Burks. So a lot of like rookie receivers went in this round. What 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? 5 rookie receivers went.
Crazy.
Which one do you think was the best pick
You
for
know
their
what's crazy?
team?
I love my Burks pick. Like at 8-12, I
Yes.
think that's a great pick. I like Wilson. I'll be honest, I'm surprised Pickens went before guys like Burks and Wilson and even Jameson Williams, but I really, really like Pickens. So I'm
Yes.
not mad at him at all. Sky Moore, I think that's one of those Kansas City offense picks. Because I think Burks is better, but that's just me. So it's not a bad pick. It's just a preference, I guess. Um, I honestly I wanted Dallas Goddard. I will 100% say I wanted Dallas Goddard, and I was annoyed that Renee took him from me. So I don't know if he would have made it anyways, but he took him. So good pick for him.
I think Allen made the biggest mistake here, not just because Michael Thomas and I wanted him. It's just because Traylon Burks has the potential to put up better numbers this year than Michael Thomas. I don't think it's going to happen, but he has the best chance out of all these rookies, whether it be Pickens, Wilson, Jameson, especially Williams and Burks. Or no, Burks has the best opportunity to outscore Thomas. It just gives him a younger lineup.
Yeah,
Imagine Jefferson and Burks for years. Instead,
yeah.
he doesn't have that anymore. He
Hmm.
had that opportunity. He just didn't take it. That's a biggest mistake from Allen up to this point, in my opinion. He had that chance because he has Henry older. Gibson, we don't know about him. And then Michael Thomas is this adding age he didn't need, and Burks could have
Yeah,
been that rookie to boost his team up like a little bit more. Like
a little
his
bit.
team went from I don't have a grade on his team yet, but let's just say it was a C. It could have been a B with that pick. I think a
Yeah.
whole full letter grade with Burks. Gosh, Michael Thomas, love him, but he just a
Yeah,
couple rounds
he's
later, in my
again
opinion.
he's not a guy I'm looking for to and I mean it's again it's the eighth round, so it's like there's
Mhm.
not as much risk, but yeah, at that point I'm probably trying to go for a younger guy with some upside, like a Burks
All right, let's
or an Ayuk because I really liked him too.
we haven't focused on Dre's team much. So as we go through the ninth round, let's focus on Dre and see how he's doing. So Mac Jones, Brandon Ayuk, Hopkins, Harris, Damian Harris, Dawson Knox, Hunter Renfro. I'm on St. Brown, whatever the fuck that guy's name is. I can't stand that guy. But
Amonra, it's pretty
Amari,
easy.
yeah, yeah, well, whatever. I can't even pronounce Harry Keneal, whatever his name is. Amari Cooper, Darnell Mooney, who I love, Pierce, Wentz, and Watson. This round is so controversial. I want to punch Dave in the face for what happened as we were playing golf. I'll never
Yes, it's so
forget
funny.
this.
I remember we were talking and I was like, I was thinking about Mooney, who you ended up taking like way later, Amon St. Brown, but I had a lot of receivers already. I really liked I had Chase and Debo and AJ Brown and Burks, who I took there. So I was like, do I do that? And I already had three QBs, but I was looking at all the QBs left, and I said, you know what? The best one, in my opinion, left is Mac Jones, and I don't have another pick for a couple rounds. Yes, I have three, but we know how much value the QB position has. I went with Matt. I said, let me just do it because I was looking at Ayuk. Doesn't think Ayuk, Amon St. Brown, and Mooney were the other guys I was looking at. I wasn't taking a Damian Harris because he's blah. Pierce, I liked him, but I thought I was a little surprised he went. I would say it's not even early, it's the ninth round, but I wasn't looking at him yet. So I said the best position for me is Mac, and let's go with Mac Jones. And I remember as soon as I picked him, you were like, "Oh no!"
Yep. That's well, you double fucked me on this round because I wanted Mac. I wanted that third receiver really or third quarterback really bad. So you took Mac. I'm like, okay, took Mac for me. I'll recover with Wentz. I'll get Wentz. Not a big deal. And then we're all on the playing golf, PGA 2K with Jansport, your brother, you, me, and Jansport, as we're here to help our friends. Hey, who should I take? What should we do? Like, well, give me a strategy. Don't tell me who to take. Just give me a strategy. What should I do? Dave opens his big
I
fucking
mentioned,
mouth.
I said, listen, I looked at the QBs and I said, Wentz, Baker, and Goff. I said, I would take two of those guys. And I even told him, this is the truth. I was like, I probably would take Goff and Baker. Like, I would take them two because I don't love Wentz. Like, I know you, and I knew once I said it, I could kind of feel like in your voice, like I hear like oh, this motherfucker. So, and I feel bad because I don't ever try to like purposely fuck people over. I was trying to give our buddy Jansport, some advice. Uh, and I said, you have to take two QBs here. I would take Goff and Baker. He took Wentz. I did mention him, but I don't think it's my fault that he took him. So
Here's the
sorry.
thing, man. If Mooney got taken before me, so a big bad pick in this round was Renfro from Renee in the ninth round. If he would have
Yeah, I
taken
think that
Mooney
was a
instead
bad
of
pick.
Renfro, oh my
Oh, I
gosh, this
know.
team.
Or even Amon St. or even Cooper. I think all three of those guys are better. I don't even like Cooper, but I would take
Yes.
in all three of them only because, yeah, we got Adams there now. You got Waller still. I think Renfro will be solid. I think he'll be fine, but I would take a couple of the other guys in front of
Out of these four picks in a row, Renfro, St. Brown, Cooper, and Mooney, Mooney has the best path to be the wide receiver one out of this group. Out
Well,
of
I think Cooper does with Watson comes back healthy
I think Mooney
for
does, man.
for
They're a run first team. Their Fields has
yeah.
nobody else. Fields
No,
has
I
nobody
like
else.
Mooney. I like Mooney.
And Mooney is a
I was
game.
most likely
He's a
taking him
playmaker.
if I didn't take Mac. I probably would have taken him. So yes, but Cooper, even though I mean, I would take Mooney over Cooper because of the age difference, anyways. But I could see Cooper having a good year if Watson or when Watson comes back. Um, but yes, I think you're better. I think you're right. I would rank them out of those four. Mooney one, probably St. Brown two, Cooper three, Renfro four. That's
Yes,
me.
agreed, 1000%. So let's break down Dre's team real quick as we haven't really talked about Dre. His team is his quarterbacks Joe Burrow, Aaron Rodgers at this point, Brees Hall, Mixon, Kamara, Evans, Sutton, Smith, St. Brown. Very balanced, very good team, very solid team. There's no holes.
Yeah, I agree. It's a solid team. It's a really solid. He has no tight end. He took go Cook. I don't even know. Yeah, Alberto. That's what he
Alberto,
took. Alberto, and he took someone after that. I can't see. You got it blocked. So scroll down a little bit. We can see who that was.
Hurst,
But
Everett. Like he just
okay, so you
swung
got
on all these
bums.
tight ends. Yeah, he just swung
Yeah,
and said,
which is
hopefully one
fine
of them
because
works
I
out,
took a few
which is
too. Um, yeah, but I mean the rest of his team I think is pretty. I mean, if I'm being honest, I don't love James Robinson. Maybe I would have taken. I don't know if he went for I think
yeah, but I'm
Fryermuth.
saying I'm saying
Okay,
up to the ninth round though. Up to the ninth round, he did very well. I think Dre
yeah,
was one of the top teams up until later rounds where other
yeah. He
people
had a
excelled.
good draft. He had a good draft.
Um, let's go to the 10th round where quarterbacks just went wild. Golf, Mayfield, CEH, Mills, Stevenson, Singletary, Hunt, Matt Ryan, Ritter, Pickett, Rashad White, Claypool. During that conversation where you told JanSport to take my quarterback, I mentioned Matt Ryan, as in I hope I talked JanSport into taking Matt Ryan. It didn't quite work out. I passed on him and took Davis Mills as my quarterback 3. I'm hoping he'd fill some time in before Watson comes back. That was more of a need pick for me. I was taking a quarterback no matter what. I hate drafting for need, but I did it anyway. But he had the most value. I don't think Stevenson, Singletary, Hunt, Rashad White, or Claypool were on his level for value terms, right? Do you agree with that?
I mean, I think, and maybe it's because I mean I don't want to say just because I got him, but I think Claypool has a lot of upside. I think Rashad White
Pickens
could.
Pickens is about to drop him
He
on the depth
might.
chart.
He definitely might. You're right. The rest, I think you're 100% correct about. I mean, unless Pickett comes out and is really good, or Ritter, I guess maybe. I'm not taking Matt Ryan in this draft unless I just have nobody else. Sure, I agree with that. So yeah, I think you're pretty much right about
And
that. Of who's left,
the continuing downfall for Renee as he takes Kareem Hunt, another aging
little
backup running
blah,
back.
a blah player.
It's just a ball player. Instead, like who would you have taken? I would have taken Ritter. I would have taken Pickett. I would, I
I
just would
probably
have
wasn't
taken those
taking any of
guys.
those QBs, but
I'm talking about
um,
in this round. Out of all those picks, if you had to rank all these
oh, just
players,
these
all 12 players,
probably Rashad White.
yeah,
I'm
Rashad White.
surprised he didn't take him over Hunt. Maybe
I'm
I think
surprised Sean
sometimes
didn't take
people.
Rashad White.
Yeah, I'm surprised that. Yeah, exactly. So that's a good point. So I don't know. It's hard to judge players. I mean, this is what the 10th round or whatever we're in. So
Yep.
so sometimes, like you said, people draft for need. I get the Hunt thing, but I think we talked about it not long before that because me and you were both looking at running backs, and it's like he's a 27-year-old already on his second contract. He's at the end of his road now. Like, yeah, he's gonna get one more chance, but he's never gonna be like a full 3 down. Like, I don't think at this point in his career to where he could happen. It could happen next year if someone trades him to a team like Atlanta or Miami or somebody. But he's probably going to be in a dual role with somebody else for the rest of his life. So
For the rest of his life.
the rest of his life.
Now we're in the 11th round, and neither me or you have a running back.
Nope. This is our
We
big
just
debate.
this is our this is our looking at it now. I kind of wish I did things differently. I'm still team Michael Carter. I still think Michael Carter is going to be something this year. I know you don't. And you know what? Listening to Sirius XM radio yesterday and today, they think so too. And they
That
didn't
he's not
like
going to ever be anything.
no, they think he's going to be something, and they
Okay.
think that he will probably be snap for snap with Brees Hall. But hey, what do I know?
Can
I'm just
happen.
some idiot.
We'll see.
You took CPAT in the first of the 11, so 11-1.
You know who I
Then
almost
Tony.
took instead of Patterson? I almost took Tony. I really thought about Tony, but this is one of those need picks where I have so many receivers at the point to where I was like, let me get someone that can help me. And maybe I shouldn't have. I regret it for a little bit, and I still maybe I will forever. If Tony's really good, I'll definitely regret it. But I'm okay with it.
So CPAT, Tony, Thielen, Dotson, the rookie out of Washington, Isaiah Spiller, Ryan Tannehill, James Robinson, Fryermuth, Michael Carter, Rondale. Well, actually, it was Robert Woods, then Rondale Moore, Pierce, and Daniel Jones as Team 12 just gobbles up all the quarterbacks at this point. He just said, "Fuck
Smart.
it, go quarterbacks." Something Chris should have done instead of Ramondre or
Yep.
Fryermuth. He stuck with Malik Willis as his second quarterback, which he looked awesome. So, but this was more drafting of need for me and you, but also value because, well, not value for you. You took CPAT, who's going to be out of the league probably halfway through the year.
We'll see.
I took Michael Carter, who's young. He's sophomore year. He can catch the ball. He's explosive. He split a backfield with Javonte Williams in college and still produced. So don't give me this nonsense that he can't do the same thing with Brees Hall.
This is the NFL. This isn't the college
I
anymore. This
understand
isn't
this.
North Carolina. You're not playing the ACC.
I understand where we're at, but I also understand we're in a day and an age where running backs don't get a full 80% workload, not even Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor's rookie year, he only got 48% of the snap share. Are we saying Brees Hall is better than Jonathan Taylor? I don't know.
Yeah.
And go, oh, who was Jonathan Taylor's competition? Well, it was Marlon Mack who got hurt on the first fucking drive of the year, tore his Achilles, and it was Naeem Hines. And it was
Naeem Hines is really good.
And it was
First of all,
Jordan
Wilkins, what a stud.
Yes.
What
So
a
if
stud.
Jonathan Taylor only got 48% of the snap share his rookie year, I'm pretty sure it's going to knock me crazy if Brees Hall only gets 50%
All right.
of the snap share.
We'll see.
I'm just
We'll
saying.
see. We'll see.
So that's why I went Michael Carter there. I think he had the most value out of all these running backs. I wanted
Honestly,
Chase Edmonds.
I like Zamir White better than Carter.
So do I. So do I, but I knew I can get Zamir later. I knew I could. But either way, I was taking Zamir White or Carter. Those were my two picks, like no matter what. So in my opinion, I'm like, okay, Michael Carter has a clear path, but so does Zamir White. So I was like, hopefully I get both of them. I'll be happy with one of them, and I wanted Carter a little bit more, not too much more, because I looked at the teams. I saw Pete behind me, right? I mean, right after me, he already has his running backs. He's not taking one. I saw Jansport. I knew what he was picking, and I saw Fernie. He already has his running backs. Now he's grabbing quarterbacks. I kind of did the math, and that's where you need to look at the board and go, okay, I know I can get White on the way back. I know I can. And if I don't, I'll take Penny. And if I don't, I'll take TDP. If I don't, I'll take, one of these guys. It just worked out that way.
I like it.
But anything else stands out on this entire round? Because I don't think anything does. I mean, we're at that point where there's no bad picks.
No, I will say we're talking about Dre's team a little bit, and I mean I'm not a Robinson fan. James Robinson, he's come off the injury. If he takes Fryermuth there, I like his team a lot better. A lot better.
If he takes Michael Carter there, I like his team a lot better. If he takes I don't think James Robinson's that.
No, I know. That's the guy who I was avoiding. I wasn't taking him anyway. So, yeah, I think there's a few players that he could have taken definitely over Robinson, but he's always liked Robinson, so good for him.
Yep, 12th round, Mariota, Lazard, Wandale Robinson, Zamir White, Malik Willis, which is a surprise to me. I didn't think he'd go before Jimmy G.
Yeah, he went high.
Kirk, Lockett, Rashad Penny, who I'm kind of surprised he was still there. Jimmy G.
I was going to probably take him, even though I hate him, if he made it back to me.
Yep, same. I knew he wouldn't get back to me there. Jimmy G, Komet, Gesicki, which is insane that he is so late.
So let me say, I was pissed that Gesicki got picked because I was taking him with the next pick. I was going to take him. I needed a tight end at this point, and I was like, this motherfucker he already taken, I think, Andrews in like the 3rd round. So I'm like, I'm going to get him. Like, he's not going to take him. And he fucking took him. I was like, this bitch. So he fucked me on that pick. I will admit, I was pretty fucking salty at that. I was like, this son of a bitch. So it is what it is.
Yeah, I was upset with you that you took Chase Edmonds, one of my league winners.
Yeah, but I had to
4 years.
Yeah, fucking 4 years ago.
I love this guy, and I was hoping he'd come back to me in the worst way. I was hoping Chase Edmonds, because that would solidify my running back 1 while Zamir gets in that role. I think Zamir's going to take that job from Josh Jacobs. I just needed that buffer, which I still got Melvin Gordon later, so I was okay with that. Michael Gallup, Noah Fant, TDP, Alligator, which I don't like at all. Tolbert, Irv Smith, Albert O, Herbert, Melvin Gordon, Dobbs, and David
I don't know how
Bell.
you say his name.
I heard
but people
Doobs,
love him right
Dobbs.
now. Yeah, I've heard both.
He's got super high value right now.
Yeah, he should trade him for like a fucking 1st round pick. That's what people are giving him right now.
I'll tell you what, he cleaned up from Wandale, Dobbs, and Brian Robinson. Those guys are climbing up everyone's boards right now, and I don't think, and no offense to anyone listening to our league mates, we love you guys, but I don't think you guys are smart enough to realize the value these guys have, which is a good thing.
And he got Pickens and Pierce a couple rounds before that, so he's got some really good young talent to go with the early studs that he got. So he did a good job.
Do you agree that it's a good thing that our league mates don't have the foresight to see that these guys are blowing up?
Yeah.
So he can't steal. So if we were in a sharp league, we could definitely get a 1st round pick for Doobs or Wandale. So good thing for you guys. Don't do it. Don't do it, guys. Promise. This round, like I said, was blah. There's nothing much going on here.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it mostly is. I don't know if you want to talk about teams at this point, because
yes. Well, let's do some late round steals. Our great picks that we think real quick as what round 14 on. Is there any, I know this is a big board. I know it's a lot of teams and a lot of
We'll scroll up.
information.
Oh, never mind. I see it. Never mind. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I scroll. Yeah, so we'll start with round 14 down. Honestly, the Ridley pick, in my opinion, was okay at 14-4. I could have probably waited later. You guys probably forgot
No,
about him.
because I was gonna take him if you didn't. So that was a good
Okay.
pick. When you took him, I was like, "Fuck!" I was already looking at him. I thought that was good. I think the man, I don't know if it's a steal or not, but it could be Trey McBride. I didn't have a tight end yet. I was gonna actually take McBride and Ertz. I was gonna take them both. So
Yep.
I like that pick. This is actually Trubisky in the 14th round. I was gonna take him, and I didn't even need a quarterback. This is a guy, and you can say I don't like him. I don't love him. I don't any of that stuff. But how does a guy like Chris in the 14th round not take him over fucking Tyler Boyd? Are you kidding me? Or Khalil Herbert and these guys? Like, what are you doing? You already need a QB. You know it's a two
Or
QB league.
Chris.
These guys are the perfect fillers. Like those are the perfect 1 or 2 year fillers. Instead, you took Tyler Boyd. What is he ever gonna do for you? Like, come on, man. Um, and there's a couple other teams that did the same thing. Like, you should have taken a Trubisky a round or two earlier because I had looked at him for 3 rounds probably, and I was
Me
like,
too.
I already have 4, but I don't need another one. And I was very close to taking him multiple times.
I'm
So that's the
annoyed that
guy
I didn't
that
get
should have been higher.
Trubisky. Yes, I'm annoyed I didn't get Trubisky, and I'm annoyed that I had to settle for Jordan Love. I don't even like him at all. I hate him, but at that point, he's a first round pick. He's gonna play sometime. He's got like that was my thing, but I hated that pick. I feel like I roster Jordan Love too many leagues.
I
But
thought about him a couple times, but then I was like, he's gonna have to go somewhere else and get a starting job because
mhm.
he's gonna not be there while Rogers is there. Um, could it work out? Sure, maybe, but I already have him in a few leagues. Obviously, you know that, and I had a few 4 QBs, so I passed on him a couple of times.
And I'm gonna say one more time, a great pick, a great late round pick that I think is gonna pan out good for you is Tyler Conklin. We're huge fans of
Oh, I love
Conklin.
Conklin.
We're
He's
huge fans
great.
of Conklin. I think he's gonna
Yeah,
be great.
I like him.
Kellen Mond in the 23rd round.
Terrible
We've already
pick.
seen that he's never gonna play in the NFL ever
Nope,
again.
he'll be out. I will
Trask as
say
well
OBJ in the 16th round, I think was a really good pick. I was going to take him if he came back to me. Gainwell, I liked him in the 16th round too. Those are 2 guys I liked in the 16th round.
in the 16th round. Okay,
Oh, and
all
I
right.
will say one guy also got sniped on, KJ Osborne. I was going to take him in the 16th, 17th round. Uh,
Yes,
I was another one pick away. I had him queued up, and I was like, this bitch. So that
yes.
that guy sniped me twice.
And I love the instant reaction because we were drafting during the Zach Wilson injury, and Flacco got taken, and
Oh
Mike White
yeah.
got taken. It's like you guys are idiots. Like whatever. I would have probably taken Flacco over Mike White, but I didn't take either
You know what's
because
funny is I was gonna take Mike White if he fell back to me, just because I mean, who cares at that point? It was the
yes.
20th third round or whatever. So
And this is the last round. I feel like the last round people throw it away, like whatever. Like no one's ever gonna come out of
I
this.
got a starting QB, so I don't know what you're talking about.
You got a quarterback that may start. The second guy, I don't know who he is. He got a running back that will be cut immediately. Sean took a guy who was
Oh,
never
I
going
didn't
to
even
play.
see guys got picked. How did I miss that? Oh
Sean
my
got
god,
Sean took a guy he's just going to drop because he's never played in the NFL ever
he
again.
hasn't played in 3 years. What is he doing?
I don't know. I don't know what Sean was doing. I don't know.
You should have taken Todd Gurley at that point. Why not?
He's, I so Allen took Sam Darnold, which is a great pick because
I
we don't
think it
know.
is. I
We don't
agree.
know.
I agree. I thought
Case
about him or
Keenum,
Taylor, but I think Daniel Jones is ass. So
Keenum was just a pick to cover Josh Allen, which I don't hate because
smart
I did the
pick.
same thing with
Smart
Huntley.
pick.
I did the same
Yep.
thing with Huntley
Smart
and Lamar.
pick. I agree.
Heineke was taken by Dre. I don't see a world where Heineke will ever be
Yeah,
relevant
that
ever
was a
again.
little weird.
Renee with Barrios. I love this pick. I wanted him. When I
I
so
don't hate that at all.
when I took Benny Snell, I was at the Bucks game last night, and Jan Sports like, pick you fucking guy. Well, I'm looking, I'm like, where's Barrios? Where's Barrios? I was literally scrolling for Barrios because I didn't have time to look at everyone's board, and he was
Uh-huh.
taken. So my next pick was Bowden. Okay, I'm gonna take Lynn Bowden because he just scored a touchdown. Let's go. I'm hyped. Couldn't find him anywhere. I don't know if he's a running back or receiver, so I'm pretty annoyed by that. So I just took Benny Snell as in whatever. Like if Najee, who's behind Najee? I don't know.
I don't know either.
Not anyone can get hurt. Najee and Benny Snell's the clear number 2 there. Never heard of this Ruckert guy, so good for you,
Never heard of him.
Chris. Hopefully he's a sleeper. Callaway, come on, man.
Eh.
It's whatever.
I mean, it's the
Jen-
25th round. What are you doing? We're
Jennings.
all drafting bums.
Yeah, I know we're all doing
Juwan
it, but
Jennings, get it right. It's Juwan.
Jawan Jennings and Randall Cobb, the Mr. Irrelevant, Randall Cobb. That's not honestly, that might be the best pick of this whole damn thing besides
Yeah, it's not terrible.
yeah. So all right, let's give grades out to everyone's team. Do you want me to get is there a way I can click on sleeper to oh wow, I didn't know you could do that.
Oh no shit! That's what's up.
I
That's
didn't know you
awesome.
could do that. Way to go, sleeper. All right, let's go to
I
everyone's
like
team.
that.
As I'm exiting this, I'm gonna go to the league page.
No, you should have done that. Just clicked on each team individually.
Well, I mean, we could look at their teams, bro. How do we do that? How do you look at the? How do you? I hate sleeper, by the way.
Sleeper's so trash.
Sleeper's the worst. Like, how do I look at the standings? Is it
What do
that
you
hard, sleeper?
go? I don't know.
Is it that hard, sleeper, to look at the
Click
freaking
get
standings?
league right there. Is that it?
No, that's my team.
You're
I'm
looking
going
at
to
your
my
team.
team.
Can't you
Yeah,
click on your team?
yeah, I can click on my team, but I can't click on yours.
Yes, you can. Go back. I think you can.
Where?
Oh no, then you have to go back to league and then click on a different team. That's what you're gonna have to do.
Okay, I guess I'll have
Yeah,
to do
that's
that.
what you're gonna have to do.
Well, not really, because you can't do
Right?
that.
Then how did you
No,
just look at your team?
because I'm logged in on my thing and I'm looking at. I hate sleeper. Straight up, hate it.
I know, me too. Go to I don't know what you I don't know where to go. Go to
Of
league, go
course,
to league, go to league, go to
I'm in
league.
league. I'm just gonna go to the draft again
Click
and do
on
that.
yeah, just do that. Do what we just did.
How do I go to the draft now?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Right there, draft results.
but why can't I look at the standings and click on each
Man,
team?
I don't
Sleeper.
freaking know, bro.
Why can't I
I
do
don't
this?
know.
So what I have to do is I have to unshare this screen. This is great podcast, by the way. And then I have to go to share screen again. Windows. Oh, we have a question in the chat. Dave, answer that question in the chat. I'm gonna put it up there.
I can't see it. What is it? I have a question. In my redraft PPR league, I want to do a Jalen Hurts trade with someone, and I give him Kirk Cousins. But I want to add draft picks. What picks do you suggest add for both sides? So you want to trade Kirk Cousins for Hurts, and you want to add picks. That thing is that's going to be hard if the other team doesn't like Kirk Cousins. I would offer if one first thing I would do is look and see if there's a younger player that you can add instead of just picks first. Say maybe he has a need at a tight end. You have like an Njoku on your bench, something like that, and then add like a second round pick. That's where I would start. Would be like a Cousins, an okay lower grade player, and a second round pick. Just go from there. If they say no, the thing is they're probably going to want a lot more because Hurts' value right now is a little bit higher than Cousins, even though I think they're going to be both close. The age difference is what people are going to look at. Oh wait, you're in a redraft league. Never mind. Um, you do draft pick trades in a redraft league?
I guess you can if you want to like. Is it a redraft? Okay,
Maybe it's
add
like a
a redraft
keeper.
with the
Maybe it's
league.
like a keeper.
Jalen Hurts, one thing, Kirk Cousins, but I want to add draft picks. Yeah, so that's kind of confusing. Maybe as a keeper. So I would just say the same thing that you said.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to. I don't know
It's a
if
keeper league. Okay.
it's got to
So
be a
what?
keeper league.
So what picks are available? So you can just get a random pick in the draft. So therefore, what round are you? Since
If you're in a
you're
redraft
watching,
league, let me be
what?
100% honest. Keep Cousins. Keep Cousins. Don't give up anything else. I like Hurts more, but Cousins is going to be great this year. I wouldn't
Yeah,
give up much more than what you have.
but if you can get a solid player along with that, I'll take. You know
No,
what
he's
I'm
saying he's going
saying?
to give up Cousins for Hurts, and you'd have to give something else added,
I
right?
give him Kirk Cousins, but I want to add a draft pick.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. I would
honestly,
rather just
yeah,
keep Cousins and keep your picks.
I agree. I agree with that too because Hertz can. But here's the thing: Hertz can win you weeks.
He
Like
can, and that's it's if I wouldn't give up a lot. That's all I'm going to say. Don't sell your team short. Don't give up a big high draft pick for him
he
because
has Stafford
Cousins
as
is going
well.
to be very good. Oh, you have Stafford also. Okay, so you got Stafford. You're good, man. Honestly, you're good at quarterback. I don't know. I would say tell this guy, hey, you can have a pick of Cousins or Stafford, whichever one you likes more, and a draft pick that's not going to hurt you. Like maybe tell him you'll give him like your fifth round pick for his sixth round or seventh round pick. Something small. I wouldn't give up a lot because unless it's a super flex league, you're fine at quarterback. And even still, you got two QBs. So
Yeah, I hate trading quarterback. Like it's not that massive an upgrade as we think it is, or not a massive downgrade as we think it is either. So
yeah, like I
I would
like
just stand pat.
Hurts a lot, but I'm not like desperate to make that trade because I think Cousins is going to be really good.
So let's rate. Oh, let's rate our teams real quick. So are we starting with you?
That's fine. We'll go 1 through 12. Can you go up? There we go.
There we go.
Look at
There
that.
we go.
Chase, Dak, Depot,
Just jerking to your
AJ
team real quick.
Brown,
Just jerking to your team.
Deontay. Like, I'm giving myself an A. I'm sorry. You guys can give me something else, but I'm weak at at running back. I understand that. I have QB depth. I have wide receiver depth. Those are the two most important positions in Superflex League. I'm weak at tight end, but I'll get through with Ertz for a year or two, and I'll file draft. I have 2 first-round picks next year, so
Yes,
I'll
that's
draft running
huge.
backs then. And I'm already stacked everywhere else. I love my team, and I don't think there's much I would do different.
And nobody talks about this, but you have that 2023 first from Adam, which is the biggest fucking heist in the history of the world. But you could turn that into a solid running back. Let's say you're down the road and
Yeah,
you're like, oh,
maybe.
I'm making that push. You have 2 first round picks, 2 where we all have 1 and Adam has 0. So you can go, hey, Chris, you're out of it. Let me get Eckler. I'll give you a 2023 first. You can get
Yeah.
your quarterback
And
then.
honestly, it would be great for him and it would be great for me.
Yes,
Yeah,
it would.
you're right.
You could have your pick of the litter here at your running back position from Chris. Gosh, must be nice to get the 101 randomly.
Yeah. Hey, you're the one that did it, not me.
Yeah, that's why I like auctions. Okay, so let's go with this guy's team, Adam's cousin. As we're gonna, I wish I knew this guy's name.
I don't know it either. Yeah.
Herbert Diggs.
I love Herbert. Let's see. He's got Diggs, Olave, Robinson, Ayuk. So he's got some question marks at his number 2 receiver group. He's got 2 good QBs. He's got a great tight end. Man, you know what? I look at it. I think this is a young team. Walker, Cook, Olave, Ayuk, Rashad White. Don't man, that's really young. Besides Herbert, I mean Herbert's young too. He's got Diggs. Honestly, when I look at his team more, he should have not taken Diggs. I don't know who else he should have taken instead. Um, I don't know if he's competing this year. Honestly, with those running backs, I don't think he is. And he really doesn't have much wide receiver depth either, to be honest. I
Yes.
would say it's like a C. I think he's got a good young team, and I think he can be competitive for a couple of years, but I don't think he's gonna compete this year.
All right, let's go to the Bucks super fan, Sean Kelly. Started out hot. Taylor Hurts, Adams, and then he kind of like right here. I think the drop off was no offense, Sean. I think you have a win now team, obviously, but
Yeah.
this is where the Avalanche fell. Fournette, Brady, Mike Williams is. I love Mike Williams, but he's 23 points here, 6 points here. Like you don't know where
Yeah.
you're going to start him. Schultz was the 1 year wonder. I like Schultz, but there was better tight ends. Goddard, Waller, understand, but you love Schultz. Miles Sanders, we've seen it. We've seen enough. We've seen enough of Miles Sanders at this
Yeah.
point. Your running
I'm
back's
kind
gonna
of
be that's
tired of him.
fine.
Yeah.
Hopkins is gonna miss the first. So you're telling me your wide receiver 3 is gonna miss the first half of the season?
He's
Not
got
looking
Thielen,
good.
though, so he'll be
He does
okay.
have Thielen, yes. So he always falls off at the end. So you have the guy who's not going to be there in the beginning, and the guy that falls off in the end. So with
There you go.
Hopkins and
He's got one good
Thielen,
receiver.
you're good to go. So I take everything back.
He needs to win now. I think he's got to win now. I would give him like a B minus. Long
Look at
term, I'd
this.
say it's like a
Look at this.
C
Buck.
minus.
Look at this.
Former
Like
Buck. He's got
Buck.
Ronald Jones, former Buck.
Former
He's got another
dude,
former Buck somewhere else.
you can't Buck. Former Buck.
OJ Howard. Yeah,
You cannot draft
he's just like fuck it. I'm
with
taking
your
all Buck
heart.
players.
That hurts your team, honestly. Allen, this is his first dynasty. I believe yes, this is his first dynasty. I think he crushed it for his first dynasty. I think he crushed it. I would love for him to have a better quarterback too.
Yes, that's another thing. It's another guy that's like go down, and I don't know where Trubisky went, but like, why are you drafting some fucking scrub over, I don't know who over Trubisky? Like, where did he go? Right there. Really? You're taking like Njoku and
Njoku?
Tyler Algier, Garoppolo. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That's bad for me. Yeah, he needs help at his QB position. Go back up.
Yep.
You can see all his team again. Obviously we love Jefferson and Cup. Henry, he's another one that like his running backs are going to die off really quickly. So if he doesn't win right now within the next 2 years, he's going to be in trouble. Also, Jefferson's a young stud. But after that, like no one's young. Like none of these guys are young. Cup's not young. Henry's not young. Jones is not young. Gibson's he's pretty young, but he doesn't look great for his prognosis right now. Stafford's older. Cooks and Thomas, like look at that. All these guys are like older. He needs to win now. So
super fan Bills. We have a lot of super fans. Like a lot of people draft him with their heart. So we got Josh Allen, Trevor Lawrence, which I think that's a mistake with Lawrence, but he can be good. Russell Wilson, we already talked about, would have made his team so like a letter grade higher to me.
I think so
Dobbinger,
too.
so your two running backs. One, we don't know if he's completely healthy. Elijah Mitchell, he got hurt like 6 different times last year with 6 different
That's
injuries or
the
whatever.
only thing I don't like about him is Mitchell. He gets hurt a lot. I mean, but I do like he's got two young guys that got some upside. I do like
Yes,
his receivers though. DJ Moore,
yes,
Elijah Moore, Gabe. We talk about him. Sky Moore. He's got some good
but
young receivers.
he doesn't have a true dominant
You're
one. We
right.
love DJ
Moore is
Moore, but
always
he's
like
going to
a
score.
15-ish
Yes.
guy, unless he
Oh, you,
scores more TDs. You're right.
you better hope
Um,
Gabe Davis is not covered because that's the only way he can score touchdowns. Sky Moore, I love Sky Moore. I really do. I
he
want to
could be
see how
really
they use
good.
him. Is this going to be the Tyreek year where he's just a punt returner, gadget player, then they unleash him the next year? That's what I want to see. I want to see, are they going to
Yeah.
they always ease these guys in and then they use them.
And then
Um,
they got a lot of weapons there. So yeah, he's got
yeah.
Dawson Knox. He's got Matt Ryan as number 3. That's fine for a 3. I think he's got a good team. I mean, he traded a lot to get Allen, and he still did fairly well. I don't
Yes.
hate his team at all.
Let's go to Renee. The reason why this league started, this
Yeah,
guy.
it pretty much is because he wouldn't shut his mouth. His big mouth. Mahomes, we love Mahomes. Swift, love him. Waddle, love him. Akers, I love Akers, but he's
Hold on.
had a bad
Pause.
injury.
Pause.
What?
Pause. We got another
What am I
question.
pausing? Okay, let's hear it.
Should I make any changes to my running back room? I have Mixon, Brees Hall, Chase Edmonds, Isaiah Spiller, Tyler Edgeo. Dude, I think in a redraft, you're set, man. Mixon and Brees Hall right there. You only need 2.
Yeah, I love
Chase
that.
Edmonds is a
Edmonds is a
great third.
decent 3. Isaiah Spiller and Algier. Like, I mean, those guys are rookies,
High
and
upside.
yeah,
I
I
think you
don't hate
crushed it,
it.
man.
I mean, yeah, Mixon and Hall is a great duo, so you're good there, honestly.
Yeah, you crushed it. Dude, your whole team's off. I want to see your running back or your receivers next because
Yeah,
your
because
team's
you already have
awesome.
Stafford and Cousins. You're great at QB too. Who's your tight end? Did you get
Yes.
Pitts? Like,
Your team is freaking awesome. All right, let's go back to this draft. Renee, the bum ass guy who started off. Look at this. Look at this start. Like this
I know.
start right here. Even though I'm not a big Akers guy,
Yeah, in the
still
4th round, you don't
A
hate it.
plus right here. A plus to me. And then it kind of went down. Judy's unknown. Josh Jacobs is on the decline. He will not be there next year. He will get a job somewhere next year. We don't know
Yeah,
where. We don't know he's going to start. Zach
exactly.
Wilson, a guy I'm high on. I'm really high on Zach Wilson. I'm okay with that as a quarterback too in a super
Yeah,
flex.
me
But
too.
but if you're going to do this route, you need a solid 3. You need a solid 3, and he didn't do
He's
that.
got Tannehill. Tannehill's not terrible. I mean, he's not going to lose his job to Willis this year. I'm
You
sorry.
don't know. You
I
don't
I
know
would
that.
be
You do
unless they
not know
start
that.
out terribly. There, he's not losing his job.
I
Wilson
hope.
Willis is not ready. Like, how often does a 3rd-year QB come in and take the job halfway through the year? It doesn't happen that often.
We
Like,
don't know. We don't
I
know.
mean,
We
you're
don't
right.
know
We
the
don't know,
situation.
but I would
Yep.
be surprised if it happened. That's all I'm saying.
I would
Love
be surprised
Goddard.
as well.
Renfro is solid. Lockett is a good. I mean, he got him in the 12th round. I don't love him, but that's a good pick. Irv Smith, a good backup tight end. His team's solid. He's one of the better teams in the league. I'll tell you that.
He is. He is one of the better teams. All right, let's go to Dre real quick. Joe Burrow, Aaron Rodgers starting off. Brees Hall. Like I said, I love Dre's team. He's a veteran. He's been playing Dynasty for a very, very long time. I don't think he went wrong anywhere. And I think he knew his tight ends were weak. So that's why he grabbed so many dart throws.
Yeah,
But the problem
yeah.
with his dart throws, I don't think any of them are going to stick.
I don't. I mean, I think Alberto is the best of them. Hurst, I don't really care about him at all. Everett, same way. Tanyan, Like, I think unless Alberto hits, he's hurting that tight end bad. Yeah,
This one could be a value. Geno
yeah.
Smith.
In the 15th round, yeah, that was a
Is
good
Drew
pick in the
Lock went
15th.
above
Again,
before him?
that's smart. Like, think about no. I think you took him right before him.
No, it's
I
going this
think
way.
so. Oh, is it
Snake goes
okay?
this way. So Lock and
Um,
then Geno.
yeah, he made a smart pick. Like, I'm
Yep.
surprised guys like Geno, Trubisky, some of these guys went way too late.
Yep. That's a good
But yeah, he's got a solid team.
that was a smart dynasty player move getting Geno that late. Chris
Mhm.
Girardi, our buddy. We've been tearing you apart. This is like the trash Chris show. But you
But I
deserve it.
like his players. He just needs to win literally right this minute. He needs to
Yes.
win now.
And we agree he can't do that because Tua, unless he
But yeah, that's the thing
outperforms.
is I agree. He should if he'd loaded up on some average QBs, given himself a better chance there. He could have got by with London and Cooper and Tyler Boyd, I guess.
In,
Myers.
instead of
But
Mond here, take Bridgewater. At least
yeah,
Mond
probably
has
at least he's the
nothing for you.
backup.
Mond does nothing for you.
Mon's
Nothing.
gonna be he'll be out of the league in 5 years,
I know. So
maybe
therefore,
less.
if you would have got Bridgewater, we know he can throw the ball. We know we can at least manage an offense. At least you have some kind of insurance for Tua. But That's mine.
Oh yeah,
All right,
true. He should have got his own backup. Yeah, that makes sense.
that's what I'm saying. All right, let's go to my magnificent team.
I
I
love your
really don't.
start. I mean, I really like your team. We
Be
talked about
honest.
it.
Be
No,
honest.
I mean, I would have taken Dak over Watson only because there is because I think they're on the same tier, and we know Dak's going to play. That's the only thing I would. That's not even a criticism. I love them both. T Higgins, you're deep. That the thing is, people are trashing you because you don't have a stud receiver, and yeah, you don't have like a Chase or a Cup
Mm,
or Diggs, but no,
Higgins
I think
demanded a bigger target share when he came back. I'm just saying.
I think you're too high on Higgins, but I like him a lot. I think my only thing is I think Chase is the alpha there, and I think But no, listen to this. How many teams have two great receivers? It happens all the time. So Higgins is gonna be fine. Pittman, I think, could be one of those breakout guys this year. I know you like him a lot. Hollywood, I love him in Arizona. Bateman, Wilson, like you got 6 solid receivers there. Like maybe, and I think you will have one by the end of the year. One of them will be like a stud, at least one or two. But people are looking at the names and they just haven't seen it yet. That's what your running backs are weak. We already knew that. No big deal.
Mhm.
And you got Kittle at tight end, so you got three starting QBs. You have a backup, so you'll be fine. You have one of the
Yes.
top 3 teams.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's go to Pete. Pete team started out very good. Very, very good. Lance,
Lance and
Kyler Murray.
Kyler,
Love
Tyreek. I
those
don't
picks.
love
Love those
Chubb
picks.
in a not I mean in a PPR, but it's the 4th round, so I don't hate it.
Yeah, I
Kelsey,
probably
I love
I
Kelsey.
where would you would have gone? I would have gone probably
One, two, three.
Kamara. I
Probably
probably would, if you're going
Kamara.
running back, I go to Kamara. But if I'm
Yeah,
going strictly on picks, and I know we've already talked about all this, I'm gonna go Pittman. I'm gonna go Deontay Johnson.
yeah, one of those
I'm
two.
just gonna grab that
Yes.
because Chubb, we saw he can be game planned out easily. Now
Yeah, and he doesn't
Watson's
catch
there
enough
now.
passes.
Watson's there now, so the offense might be way
Yeah,
more efficient. I don't know, but Chubb, I don't like him in Dynasty, especially in a
yeah,
PPR.
I agree. The rest of his team, we talked about how he's got all these good young players, Dobbs and Watson. I mean Wilson. I mean
Dude, hold
Wandale
on, pause the
Robinson.
show. This dude has
What?
pits.
That's
This guy's awesome.
he's
And
fucking stacked.
his receivers, T. Higgins, Hollywood
Robert
Brown,
Woods.
Darnell Mooney. This guy is like me. This guy is
Yeah.
like my favorite.
Is that your burner? Is that your
Is
burner
that,
now?
am I commenting? Because he's got Hollywood, who I love, Higgins,
Yeah. Allen
Mooney,
Robinson.
Robinson. This guy's me. This guy is like I would have Cousins in Stafford.
Yeah, exactly. He's got a good team. You got a good team, dude. Don't make
Don't fuck
anything
this up.
drastic.
Like your
Yeah, don't
team is
drastic. You have a
amazing.
solid team. Very solid team. Where are we at? Oh yeah, we talked about Pete. I love his rookies. The Robinson, Dobbs, Robinson, the other Robinson, Pierce, Pickens. He's got good players to go with his elite guys at the top, like Kelsey and his QBs and Montgomery and Chubb. It's not a terrible duo at all. So I think he's one of the top 4 or 5 teams.
Now let's go with our buddy Jansport, who this was his first ever
I think he
Dynasty
crushed it
Superflex.
mostly.
I see okay. So little disclaimer, and this is nothing, not a knock on Dynasty Nerds. I have the Dynasty Nerds, my GM or whatever. I just like to keep my track of my teams and who I own and or whatever. Just it's just all there in one hub. I don't really agree with their rankings. They had my boy Jansport as the 11th best
I
Dynasty
know.
team,
I
which
saw that. I don't
I
like
just
that. I
don't
think that's
understand.
crazy,
I just don't understand. Yeah, Sean got the worst grade for Dynasty Nerds. That's
which is
understandable, but
correct.
yes, but Jansport, I just don't get it. You got Najee and Javante, probably the top 2 running backs besides not named Taylor and CMC.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson has been nothing but I'm not a Russell Wilson
You know what? I'm a
lover,
little
but
surprised now that I think about it that he didn't take Swift over Javante, and I would have been perfectly okay with that.
I would
But
have taken
that was
Javante. But
close.
DK, I'm not high on. Hawkinson, I love. This team is solid down any way you look at it. Look at
His bad pick was Pollard. He should have taken someone
yes.
instead of Pollard. Who did
Pick
we say he should have taken?
hell,
Maybe
he
a
should
QB or something. Mac
on
Jones,
any
maybe.
of these rookie Perks,
Yeah.
Pickens,
Some of these
Wilson,
rookies. Yep.
any of the. I'm surprised he didn't take Jameson Williams, his rookie
I think
receiver.
he wanted to too. He even mentioned that.
Yeah,
That was one of his things he wished he'd have done.
that was
Yeah,
his
I
biggest
would have
mistake.
loved him a lot if he would have taken Jamison Williams instead of Pollard. Overall, his team I think is again one of the top 4 or 5 teams. Yeah, I mean I'm probably not building my team around running backs like that, but he got 2 good young ones. He still got some receivers in there. I know you don't like DK, but he's still a really good player. I think they'll get a
Well,
QB in there eventually, and he'll be fine.
he asked me
So
about this pick specifically, and he asked me about DK. He asked me about a couple players, and I said, "Look," because he's like, "Oh, well, he's got Geno Smith, he's got Drew Lock." I said, "Listen, we just saw a record of receivers getting traded. Just because they're on this team
it's
now,
true.
this whole new NFL world, these players don't stay long anymore. They just
It's
don't.
true.
I don't think Chase will stay in Cincinnati forever. I don't think Jefferson's going to stay in Minnesota forever. I just don't
Yeah,
think
they
these
are.
guys stay anymore. I hope no, honestly, I hope so because they look good
No,
on
well,
those teams.
DK just signed. Like he just signed a
I
contract.
know he just signed his contract.
These
I
guys that are
understand that.
leaving are at the end of
Julio
their contract.
Julio just signed a contract. He got traded the very next year.
He signed a
These
1 year deal, didn't he? Like
no, I'm talking about
he's
with
also
Atlanta.
32.
I understand that, but this was back 3 years ago when he signed that contract. Then he got traded. I'm saying is these guys are on the move a
But
lot
you're
more than
right.
they used to be.
Guys get moved around way more than they used to be in
So
the past.
I
That's
don't
true.
want to look in the 2022 spot and go, well, DK is not going to be that good. He's not going to be good this year, I don't think. But I think once they get their guy, he will be good.
I will say I love Godwin in the 6th round. I love that pick.
Mm-hmm. Me too. I do. All right, let's move on to Chris Fernie, our guy. He's joined like 80,000 dynasty leagues this year. Fernie just went crazy. His team is
Jason
exactly
CD,
how
love it.
I thought it was going to be. I think he
Yeah.
learned from you. I think that
You
you're
know
his
what's funny?
prodigy.
Me and him were
Or
talking during
he's
the
your
draft,
prodigy.
and every time I'd be up, he'd be like, "Are you gonna take this guy or this guy?" And it was he literally had all my picks like nailed. He was like, "You're gonna take Deontay or DJ Moore?" Boom, I took Deontay. He's like, "You're gonna take this guy?" Yeah, I took him, and I was like, "You son of a bitch." And then I was like, "Dude, I really like your CD." And he's like, "Man," I was telling him about Saquon. Like, I was hoping he'd fall, but he's like, "No, I was gonna let him fall any more than that." So yes, I like his team. Zeke, we talked about it earlier. I don't love Zeke. I'm not taking him there. Otherwise, for the most part, I think he did a pretty good job.
Yes, I think so too. I'm going to be targeting his team as I do want James Conner on this team only because I think I can compete now and I don't have that running back.
Yeah, Connor's a good win now guy to target for me or you or someone like that. Yeah.
But Chris, when you're watching this, I'm not going to give you a lot. I promise you, I'm not. I'm going to give you like maybe a second round pick if that. Overall, man, starting a dynasty with your friends is the best. Yes, there's apps out there you can join and you random strangers, but these are all legitimate friends that I know, except for one guy that's Adam's cousin. Hopefully, I get to know him. That's the great thing about dynasties. Like I met Dre from Dynasty, well, poker as well. But most of these guys were met because of fantasy football or outside world, and we just all got together and we love this thing. So, introducing your friends to Dynasty, introducing your friends to auctions, introducing your friends to Superflex, anything in the dynasty in the fantasy world is awesome because you all can just have fun together and learn together and grow together. And hopefully this league is that's what we do. I hope that all of us learn and grow together and become better fantasy players.
And just by the way, fuck Renee. So there's that.
Yes, I guess if you want to say that. And if you're new to the show, like our buddy in the chat, who has the best team of all time, hit the subscribe button. We're here. We're live every single Wednesday night. So follow the show, please.
Listen to the podcast on Spotify and Google and Apple and all that good stuff.
Anywhere you can find OUS Fantasy or anywhere you can find podcasts. But mainly we want to grow our YouTube channel. So please like and subscribe and just be here every Wednesday. All right.
Keep every question you give us, we will answer. I promise you.
1000%. Oh, hit me up on Twitter, Josh Kimmel OUS at Viking Dave 18. Hit me in the DMs. There's this guy that DMs me literally every single day, and I answer him. Nope, it's a different guy.
Okay. All right.
I can't even count on my hands how many people DM me about questions anymore. Nice. I am growing a little bit of people trust and people do like me. So hit me up on Twitter. I'll answer you as soon as I can. I'm very personable. I hope my goal in life, if I ever make it in this world, is I don't want to be too big where I don't chat in Scott Fishbowl chats like some of you assholes do. And I don't want to be bigger. Like, really? Like, oh, you think you're so cool because you have a check mark? You can't chat in our Scott. That's the whole point of Scott Fishbowl, you jerk. But we didn't have that this year. We didn't have that this year in the Scott Fishbowl Orlando. Everyone was awesome.
Yeah, our draft was awesome.
It was. All right. Well, that's it for the show. Peace out. We'll be back Wednesday as we break down my rankings. You guys are all going to trash my rankings. It's going to be the funnest show probably of the offseason. See you next time, guys.